Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. I'm Shamela Pullen. Here's what we have in the bulletin. FCJ chairman defends Morant Bay Center amid criticism. ODPEM provides hurricane straps to strengthen homes for 2025 season. And later in sports, West Indies and England do battle at first T20 International this afternoon. Now the details. Chairman of the Factories Corporation of Jamaica, Littleton Shirley, has pushed back against criticism of the newly opened Morant Bay Urban Centre in St. Thomas. Mr. Shirley says the critics don't understand how commercial development works. Some senior members of the opposition People's National Party (PNP) are not happy about the ribbon-cutting event on May 15. According to them, the Morant Bay Urban Centre is not finished and still needs a few more months of work. But head of the Factories Corporation of Jamaica, Littleton Shirley, has responded to the complaints.
We gave the person we build a shell. We give the clients a 3-month period to build out. Why would we wait for everything to finish before we're sending the clients? We can work concurrently with those 3 months period. That is what you call strategic planning and the knowledge of commerce. Those who make careless remark have no clue about commercial activities. And I say that without no
fear of contradiction.
Yes, because you hear silly statements being made by persons who are educated and should know better.
Mr. Shirley was speaking at the site of a new project in Boundbrook, Portland. He said, just like with the 18-month Boundbrook project, tenants are usually allowed to come in during the last few months to customize their spaces.
3 months before the 18 months finish, we'll be calling our clients and said, we're not 100%. We might still have landscaping to finish. We might be at 98. But we are finishing up for you the outside work that we have to do while you are doing your retrofitting. We will continue to work so that we both end at the same destination at the same time. One finishing line. So this is what Boundbrook is all about.
Mr. Shirley also said most of the workers at the Boundbrook project will be from Portland. This means more jobs for local people in the area. Work on the Boundbrook Urban Centre officially started Thursday. It will cost $4.2 billion and will have offices for both government and private businesses.
This is when everybody line up, like how you see we line up here, and ready to kick off. We did the site preparation, contractor, funds are in place, right? They are now doing their benchmarking. The QS will be here tomorrow. The land surveyor will be here tomorrow to peg out the site along with them, ensure that the site we don't infringe on lands that don't belong to us, and what we build on is what we own.
A break-in and theft at a popular clothing store in Arnett Gardens, Trenchtown, has left the owner and the community with more questions than answers. As Jamila Maitland reports, even the Denham Town Police described the crime as unusual and is urging anyone with information to come forward.
From Penn Street in Arnett Gardens, things appear to be normal, but business owner says it was far from it Tuesday when she opened her shop sometime after 10 a.m. to serve a customer. A ransacked shop greeted her when she opened the door to the container that kept her livelihood afloat.
I come outside now, me just go so. This, me say, draw up. Come out, was closing. Me say, what's this like? I like this last night. I want to go to Jesus! They do cheap, but tell them about the shop. I'm sorry, call my sister.
Between midnight Tuesday and before dawn on Wednesday, thieves gained entry to the shop via an adjoining basic school. They hoisted themselves onto a concrete wall, then pried a drywall area open to gain access to the container from the back of the property. Inside, she revealed what was stolen.
I have hat, I have t-shirt, I have shirt, I have shoes, I have slippers, I have things in the glass set like cologne, roll-on, panty, brassiere, dress, man shirt, man pants, man shots, everything gone.
If you ever put a figure on how much money you think
I want million and add to me million and add because I sell one t-shirt, one t-shirt. Because polo t-shirt, feel like 6,000. Polo with a beard, a good polo, gap, multi-gap, original myself.
2 saving pans were also reportedly stolen, as well as money from items sold. Residents who didn't want to speak on camera say the break-in is troubling. No one heard or saw anything. Terry, who's been living in Arnett Gardens for decades and just a stone's throw away from her business of over 10 years, said it's very disheartening. Head of the Denham Town Police, Superintendent Brian Henry.
It's not the usual break-in, and it is the first of that kind we are seeing in the recent past. We usually see like liquor stores, etc., but not closed stores.
Superintendent Henry says there are no suspects at this time, but the police are following strong leads. He says the break-ins brings to 4 the total since the start of the year, all of which he says are unrelated to the crime scene in Arnett Gardens. In the meantime, he's urging anyone with information to contact the police. Jamila Maitland, TVJ News.
As part of efforts to overhaul the contract work system, the opposition PNP will be pushing for employers to submit specific information to the Labour Ministry. Opposition spokesman on Labour, Wavell Hines, says hiring practices must be ethical and transparent. He was speaking at a PNP public forum in Montego Bay, St. James this week.
We must ensure that hiring practices are ethical and transparent. Workers should reserve work contract for genuinely temporary or non-core functions, such as seasonal work, special projects, and not for permanent roles that are integral to the ongoing operations of a company. To support this, we propose that employers submit their organizational charts to the Ministry of Labour, detailing the roles that require contract work. This will help the ministry to ensure that work contracts is used correctly and not as a loophole to avoid offering permanent positions with benefits.
Legislative changes are also on the table.
The PNP will introduce and pass legislation to regulate contract work in Jamaica. The law will limit the duration and scope of short-term contracts and ensure that repeated renewals trigger automatic reclassification to permanent status, thereby providing workers with job security and access to the benefits they deserve.
Mr. Hines also promised to review the work permit regime to ensure Jamaicans are given first preferences for jobs. A PNP administration will also ensure a joint industrial council on tourism to examine the plight of hotel workers. The party is also promising to give additional resources to the Labour Ministry,
including increasing personnel assigned to these offices and expanding the staff at the IDT. We will also consider adding a second panel in the West to ensure cases are heard promptly and disputes are resolved in a more timely manner. The long waits for hearings are unacceptable.
Hundreds of residents of Lapland and surrounding areas in southern St. James can now enjoy potable water. Karen Simpson reports.
The wait is over. At least 1,000 residents of Lapland and surrounding communities in southern St. James can now enjoy potable water. This following the commissioning of a $23 million water supply system. The project has a 20,000-gallon storage capacity and is powered by solar energy. Homer Davis is Member of Parliament for St. James Southern.
I remember after the 2020 general elections, I came up here, and when I looked at the landscape, and when I looked at the votes from Lapland, I said, you delivered for me, I will deliver for you. And so today, I am delivering for you, the people of Lapland.
This is one of several water projects in southern St. James. As for the others,
there are some other projects, Minister, that will be coming under the CDB. That is the Cambridge water supply. Because that one, if the rain drizzle, turbidity. So a lot of work is needed to be done there to get it up to the state that it can serve the people of St. James or Cambridge, as also in Westmoreland.
For his part, Minister with responsibility for water Matthew Samoda revealed that as part of efforts to achieve water resilience, more projects are on the way.
In 2 to 3 weeks, no longer than 3, no less than 2, I will be back in Western Jamaica, pretty close to the boundary between Trelawney and St. James. And we will break ground on $27 billion of water infrastructure. Now that infrastructure will see transmission mains being replaced from the Martha Brae all the way to the terminal reservoir in Montego Bay.
In the meantime, Mr. Davis urged residents to take care of the system.
Meaning that there's going to come a time when you will be asked to make a contribution for the water that you will be receiving. We don't reach that point yet, but that time will be coming, and I'm only hoping that when that time comes, we don't hear comments, Pastor Garden, God water. We all know it's God water.
As the country prepares for the 2025 Atlantic hurricane season, some persons will receive hurricane straps to strengthen their homes. These metal connectors, also known as roof tie-downs, help secure roofs to walls during strong winds. Local Government Minister Desmond McKenzie says ODPEM began the distribution program last year and will continue it this season.
The ODPEM initiated last year a hurricane strap program, and we are expecting this year to do the same by providing through the municipal corporations a couple thousand hurricane straps. We gave Minister Charles in Rocky Point last year a significant amount of hurricane straps, and this will be a part of the program of mitigation or relief that will be undertaken by the ODPEM.
Mr. McKenzie says discussions around approvals are also being intensified for this season.
As it relates to how roofs are secured, Prime Minister, those discussions have commenced, and the building plan, plans that exist in the building code do also speaks to a specific area as to how construction around roofs must be done. But we will intensify those discussions as we go on.
The Ministry of Education, in partnership with Jamaica Teachers Association, has officially launched the National Association of Work Experience Coordinators, bridging the gap between education and industry. That has been the mantra of the National Work Experience Program, which was established by the Ministry of Education some 5 decades ago. The program was designed to introduce grades 10 and 11 students to the world of work. Collie Spirit Selvin is president of NAWIC.
The development of work experience programs has been largely driven by the national education reforms aimed at addressing youth unemployment, bridging skills gaps, and aligning education with labor market demands.
And following the call for a more structured program over the years, the National Association of Work Experience Coordinators was birthed. Currently, there are some 100 participating schools.
We don't just identify a company and say, oh, you are in mechanic or you are cosmetology or business, and just place you there. We would observe the students' personality and attitude, shortfalls and issues, and place them at an institution that will not only give them the work experience, but allow them to blossom.
And Mrs. Spirit Selvin says despite the various challenges, the association continues to improve through advocacy to strengthen the call for a more robust work experience framework. In the meantime, she's calling for more businesses and schools to get on board.
So far, we still need more support from businesses in some regions. We are also mindful that there are a number of administrators who are yet to come on board fully, and we're looking forward to their understanding and their support in the various schools.
It's time for a break. Stay with us for stories when we return. Welcome back to the Midday News. It's now time for the Business Minute.
Jamaica recently made history as the first and only country in the world to have its conch industry certified by the Marine Stewardship Council. Jamaica's conch cluster lead Roderick Francis says the council certification is not just a blue label on a package, but represents a commitment to the environment and to the people of Jamaica. The Marine Stewardship Council is a non-profit organization which aims to set standards for sustainable fishing. Further afield, India's central bank has lowered interest rates by a deeper than expected 0.5%, the third cut in a row amid falling inflation and lower growth in Asia's third largest economy. It also increased the amount of liquidity or supply of money available in the system. The repo rate, the level at which the central bank lends money to commercial banks, influencing borrowing costs for home and car loans, now stands at 5.5%, the lowest in 3 years. And that's it for the Business Minute. I'm Carrie Ann Simpson.
Thank you, Carrie. And time now for the top regional and international stories. In the region, Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago Kamala Prasad-Bisesa has warned Venezuela against military action on the Twin Island Republic. Venezuela has stated that it is intent on pursuing gang members. This following claims that Colombian paramilitary groups were using Trinidad to enter eastern Venezuela. Prime Minister Prasad-Bisesa says her country will not cower in fear. We take another break. Sports is next.